Well, good day, nerds. This been a while since I made a video on tortoise. It's not a. It was buffed a few while ago, where its armor profile was buffed for some reason, whereas it still has the same weak spots like we watched on the video about 10 months ago, I believe. But I will run down the tortoise once again. It's no big deal for me. Tortoise sits at 1800 hit points, which is one of the best as per Blitzhanger. It has view range, which is one of the best, but Tortoise, it's a tank destroyer, you're not going to spot with it. And it has like 20 kilometers per hour top speed. I don't believe you would ever find yourself in a situation where you are spotting in Tortoise. So view range, I would say, is completely irrelevant, even though it's one of the best at its class. Tortoise, let me mount my equipment that I run to give a better rundown. Do I run cam on it? I don't really remember. And there we go. Damage per minute 3600. Pretty good AP for AP rounds. 272 millimeters of penetration is not bad. Like, it's pretty good at tier 9. It says it's one of the worst, like it's at 9th place out of 11, but I don't really think that it's that far bad. 272 is quite fine at tier 9, and the APCR shells go to 342 millimeters, which is pretty good. You can, like, I believe this can still go through the IS-7 pike nose. And then you have the cheap hash. If you run calibrated, you go up to 132 millimeters, which is pretty good. You can HE quite a few tanks on the sides, even at this tier. And 515, which is above average damage for 120mm cannons, which is pretty good as well. Its gun is decent at sniping. It's very fast in terms of shell velocity, and aim time and gun dispersion is not bad. It's one of the best in the class. Reload is 6 seconds. Then you have dispersion factors. I didn't honestly feel that much difference in the way it shows. It says it's one of the worst, but you won't really feel that on Tortoise. Then it has 10 degrees of gun depression and 20 degrees of gun elevation, which is pretty good. You also have 20 degrees of gun arc. So in Tortoise, you can simply sit and camp, and the entire map would basically be in front of you. You would basically not require to turn most of the time, because the gun arc is so wide and the depression and elevation angles make it quite easy to use the Tortoise. But here comes the problematic part, I would say. The problematic part is, of course, its speed. It is god awful. Like, remember how I bickered about VK72 being very slow tank? This is basically that. 20 kilometers per hour top speed for forward and 10 kilometers backwards is god awful. I can't stress it enough. On top of that, under best condition, you're going to have 9.5 horsepower per 10 power to weight ratio. So it's in the range of VK72 if you have played it, or if you can judge it by the replay I showed last time. Well, the Tortoise did receive armor buff. Let's check its armor profile. They buffed the superstructure a bit, and few of the weak spot got slightly thicker, but they're not in the realm of being impenetrable. Even if you angle properly, they're still quite penetrable. It just depends whom you're fighting against. The roof weak spot, the 38mm weak spot that I mentioned last time, is still there. So if you have gun caliber in the range of 120mm or higher, it will absolutely go through. I believe it is if you had gun caliber greater than 118mm, you would overmatch Tortoise roof regardless. Tortoise would require to be in hull down position to hide that roof, otherwise you can easily shoot here. Just not that, Tortoise is not very fast in terms of traverse, And even though it has a very good gun arc of 20 degrees left and right, you can flank it and still shoot it. Their backside being weak. Yeah. So now, in the last time I said you need to angle up like this and try to hide your cupola and turn. You can still do that, but the weak spots, which were actually weak spots, the cupola and this, I believe it's a, I don't know, this is a gun port, I believe. These are in realm of 252 millimeters of effective thickness. So once we use AP normalization, that is 5 degrees, then the armor profile, which is here the thickest, I believe, and the thickest armor profile, would go back to 240 millimeter, in the range of 240 millimeter for AP rounds. For APCR rounds, let's go again, that was 25 millimeters, 252 millimeters, remove 2 degrees from here, and yeah, 247 millimeters. I believe every tier 9 to 10 medium tanks, even quite a few tier 8 medium tanks have enough penetration to go through this weak spot. This is the thicker one, the thickest one, weak spot. The cupola being even weaker at 230 millimeters and 212 even. But I am really grasping straws here. Whenever you see a tortoise, you'd never deal with it from the front unless you're a heavy tank or you're completely out of position. You have no way to deal with it. Otherwise, never deal with tortoise from front. It has very good damage per minute. It will spank you, and it will spank you very hard. I have replay in the new tortoise. Unfortunately, this video should have come out like, I believe, a month ago, when we still had the old aim system, but it wouldn't really matter. The aim system hasn't changed drastically that much. They have only changed they have removed the delay that aim system had before. But yeah, let's get into the replay now. Well, we are in the 4th despair, and as you can see, our team only has 2 side scraping tanks. So it would make absolutely 0 sense for our team to go on the right side as we are on south spawn. I would recommend if our team would come towards left, as we have I7, Fe215B, and other tanks that are in hull down-ish meta. And they are not really going to perform that well if we are going to go in a corner battle fight. But alas, the heavy tanks are going towards the side scraping side for some reason. Like Fe215B is not capable of side scraping, nor is the IS-7. You can of course try to do so, but you would get your butt kicked if you'd be fighting against any competent player. But anyway, we have the standard B who is trying to spot. I don't really recommend going over the medium tanks if you're trying to spot at the start, as the TDs can't spot you through the bush, and if their Guerrilla 15 was, I guess, more sneaky, or their waffle is more sneaky, then they can easily load HE and penetrate standard B from the front with HE. And now the standard B is trying to fight T1 and LT, a broken ass light tank, because again Wargaming is completely incapable of balancing. I managed to sneak one shot in. That was somehow a bounce, but I still managed to penetrate him. Doesn't really matter. Here's the grill. You can really see that old aim system that we had. Now I'm backing off. The T1 and LT again manages to hit me. Like, I have played T1 and LT a few days ago. I was not trying to play it because I don't like playing broken tanks. It's almost like you are trying to fight kids in a yard or something. It is completely disgusting to play. But anyway, I managed to track him, but nobody shot him as our IS-7 is camping. No, IS-7 doesn't even have shots from there. Then I noticed the T-54E1, Guerrilla 15 spawns him, so I can't really turn. Then I noticed the waffle is aiming for me, so I back off further. I'm going to try to angle up and hope the T-54 even is terrible at aiming. Yeah, he kinda is. I'm going to angle up again, don't get a shot at Hesh. And angling at Cupola, he completely misses because I'm also moving. Cupola is somewhat big, but he's not that good in terms of aim. Doesn't matter, he fluffed all of his 3 shots, then I can just now kill him. TNLT is on low HP, which is really nice. I try to save a bit of EP PCR rounds. I don't really know why I did that, but yeah. Don't question my terrible judgment. Almost had shot. If this replay was in the new aim system, then that would have connected, but anyway. Then I managed to pull off that bullshit shot on Waffle. And it was a high roll, which is good. I want to kill the TNLT, but it's so low to the ground that this bump is going to completely cover him. Don't get really shots on him. I don't know if IS-7 went AFK or what, but he was in that position for a while. I want to get rid of this TNLT as he is the biggest bane for me. Then the Waffle is going to rush. Managed to smack him another high roll, and that was a somewhat terrible shot on my behalf. I know that this guy is flanking me, but I didn't know he would be this terrible at flanking, so I managed to get rid of him. Very good on my part. Now I'm going to use this T-54E1. TNLT is really salty now. Going to fluff my shot. Finally, the gun handling. Now the IS-7 rolls in. I have my hash loaded. Change it. It's smacking once. Going to back off. I don't really know if the IS-7 player is terrible or it's a bot. I don't really know. He's rushing me. I guess that would be fine play for a hull down fast heavy tank, but now he's completely giving the Waffle away, and the Waffle dies thanks to that. Now I can get it off his tracks, and my damage per minute is much more superior than IS-7, so I can keep him tracked and also get rid of him. He fluffs his shot again, and we get 7,000 damage game with about 2,000 blocked. I would have really appreciated if Wargaming kept the old armor profile and gave the Tortoise top speed instead of increasing armor on the superstructure. Like the Cupola weak spot and the gunport weak spot is still there, but anyway. Now we're in the part of the video where I slander my teammates. Yay! Hooray! FE215V as predicted died pretty amazingly in the side scraping position in his hull down tank. 400 damage, like he shot once, got high roll and gave up on life. Standard B, he was doing fair job of being a medium tank, spotting, but he basically rushed a much superior tank T1LT with support of a tank destroyer and tried to fight them. Basically YOLO'd and died. Gorilla 15, don't really know. He also was with us, but he managed to die at only 1,100 damage. Like he shot twice and forgot to play further. Don't really know what Yak Panzer 100 did, nor do I know what IS-7 did. I believe he went AFK. He played for a while and went AFK. They played for a while and went AFK. And even as expected, side scraping super heavy performed fairly well on the side scraping side. Then some bot in Tortoise managed to do 7,000 damage with 5 kills. Not bad. On the enemy team, TFT4E1 basically YOLO suicide. Committed YOLO suicide. Like, he got spotted by the Gorilla 15, but didn't bother to stop and assess the situation. They just straight up ran into a Tortoise and tried to fight it from the front. They didn't even try to flank me or anything. Then the IS-7, don't know what they're doing, 491 damage. Enemy grill. Waffle IS-757 and TNLT. Waffle IS-757 performed fairly well in tanks that should not be performing fairly well in the corner side battle, like they went towards the right side where the evil was fighting. TNLT, being in broken tank, did only 5,000 damage. And I would mostly blame the idiotic rush they did at the end. There was no point of rushing like that. If you're very desperate to do damage, just increase the distance or maintain the distance. So I would always be in pincer maneuver. If I'm going to turn towards TNLT, their Waffle and IS-7 have chance to shoot me, and if I'm going to turn towards them, then TNLT has chance to shoot me. And it also has high damage per minute, like 3600 range. Like Wargaming absolutely did no homework when they decided to life this tank. This is the poster the DHS here. I'm going to rant about something I don't remember, but they're going to be another replay, and I would like you to pay attention how goddamn slow Tortoise is. How long is it going to take me to get to a position, and how much movement I'm going to do. Like, Tortoise is basically, at this point, a hit and miss. You get to a position, if the enemies are incredibly stupid enough to rush in front of you, you're going to do good damage. Otherwise, you have basically no part in how much damage you're going to do, how good you're going to perform in Tortoise, basically. Now, why was I saying that buffing armor profile on Tortoise was not really a good idea? The problem with Tortoise is not that it does not have armor profile. We were talking about the old school Tortoise, not the new one. The old school Tortoise could still get bounces, could still block damage when you're going to use it in held on position while angled and try to bait shots out. Absolutely no part of the playstyle of Tortoise has changed. Absolutely none. They just increase the damage, increase the armor profile, nothing has changed, the same weak spots are still there, you can still get penetrated over there, it doesn't really matter. They just like, you know how the companies like to do, they like to show that they're doing something when they're actually not doing anything? They basically did that with Tortoise. I'm going to straight up say that. Tortoise's problem was not the armor profile. Tortoise's problem was the abysmal speed that it has, 20 kilometers per hour. It takes forever to get into position, any kind of position. It is kind of, if you play T95, you know how god awful it is at times. Basically take that, place it on some British tank with 120mm gun, and voila, you have a T95, much worse in terms of armor profile, very good in terms of damage per minute, yada yada yada. Boring tank, completely. Garbage, I would even say. I can perform this well in Tortoise because I am a super unicorn. To me, playing any tank, I can play any tank basically, it will perform just as good. Because I know my limits. I know if this tank is garbage, I am never going to position it in the front lines. I'm going to take a seat back and wait for my teammates to lose hit points so I can shoot enemy team. That is how you basically play any type of support tank. If your teammates are completely, I don't want to say this, but if they're completely retarded, then you have basically no choice in tanks like Tortoise. You will die, you will fight against 7 tanks, even with your 3000 something damage per minute, you are not going to last very long, you will die. But if you were somewhere near them that you could support, not with your 20 kilometers per hour, it will take forever to get into position, but if you had higher top speed, for example 35 kilometers per hour, we are really trying to balance tanks here. Homework. Yeah, I'm in jolly mood today, you can see. I'm very upset from Wargaming, that's what I'm going to say. There are a few leaks for 9.1 that I might make video on. I don't want to make it, I might get super salty. because they are further butchering the meta. They are going to promote the brain dead hull heavy tanks meta, where you have armor profile on the front, you have mobility, you have firepower, you have you have everything. You're playing a main battle tank basically, and that kind of meta is going to be in 9.1. What was I talking about again? Oh yes, the tortoise. Definitely my voice didn't change. It's not like I'm making this video further after 4 or 5 days gap. Well, basically you saw in this replay so far how much I moved, how long it took. It took me about a minute to get here, to get to this part, and I was basically sitting in open, doing nothing. I was just shooting, YOLOing enemy tanks. That's it. Epic playstyle. So much skill required for this. You have absolutely no idea. Maybe when Wargaming will actually make the tank nice, then I will make a proper rundown of how to play Tortoise. At this point, you don't require that. So see you later. Bye.